Big Brother. Dun, 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 dun. Big Brother is our favorite reality TV show, and it's one of our favorites, probably the favorite. And this week, this eviction episode that happened just a few hours ago
Crazy.
marked the end of an era
The end of
in
an
Big Brother
era.
26. The show has been reigned by the comp beast that was Tucker,
Mm-hmm.
and the House, by a vote of 5-3, have voted Tucker
Yep.
out of the
Yep.
Big Brother house. So yes, it's a new era.
Listen, it was time.
It was so time.
He was entertaining. I'll give you that. He made for good TV, but it just was time. The dude is a liability. He also, if you're not following the live feeds, and you probably don't even know, but he has just, his arrogance is not fun to watch. His
Yeah.
arrogance is like, it's weird. He thinks he should be like, everyone should do what he says at all times because he wins,
definitely.
or because he does this, or because he does that. Like, let's just get into it. So the veto this week, right, was one of those ones where, everyone gets some sort of gift. It's either a positive or negative reward, right?
Right.
So he took a punishment and gave T-Core the $5,000, right? So then Cam won the veto, of course, like any normal person does, took himself off the block.
Yeah.
And T-Core had to put someone up. And T-Core decided to put up Angela because Angela was threatening to, like, take down Tucker, basically.
Right.
And Tucker got so upset that T-Core put Angela up and didn't put up Leah, who he wanted her to put up.
Right.
And I'm talking got so upset that he then goes on this whole campaign about, well, I don't even want to be here anymore.
Right.
I'm not going to try in the BB arena.
Right.
I don't want to go to jury. I just want to go home and get my dog. But then it turned into this whole thing. Well, I don't even know if I'm going to get my dog because my ex-girlfriend has my dog and she's seeing me with Rubina, and so I don't even know if she's gonna let me get my dog. And it was kind of just like, Tucker, what?
Yeah.
Like, why are you, like, you have won so much, and then the one time that someone doesn't do what you want to do, you want to throw in the towel. Okay, but then the thing that really got me was he was like, I gave T-Core $5,000 in that game, and she won't even do what I'm asking her to do. Listen here, sir. Just because you gave her $5,000 does not mean she owes you anything. Yeah. She did not ask for that $5,000. You gave that to her on your own free will.
Yeah.
So I just can't stand that type of, like, manipulative behavior of, like, I did this for you, so now you need to do this for me.
Right.
No, if you're going to do something for someone, do it out of the kindness of your heart.
Yeah.
And don't expect anything in return.
Yeah. It was
Oh, sorry. I got
real
riled up
that's
about
awesome.
that.
No, I agree. Tucker, I just don't belabor myself with trying to get into his head because he's crazy.
Yeah.
I remember for the first few moments seeing him on the feeds, I was like, this guy's insane.
Yeah.
Like, before all the antics, before all the tantrums, before all the shenanigans, just looking at him, I was like, and seeing how he interacted and just doing what he was doing, I'm like, this guy is not all. This guy is weird, man.
Which, that's okay. Like, it's okay to be quirky and weird and just be you.
No, but
it was to a point where you weren't treating people nice.
Yeah. It's yeah. So a lot of these things he put himself in these positions. And so it's hard for me to care or be like, it's just kind of black and white, because what happened was he volunteered to go on the block.
Right.
And no matter what happens, once you're on the block, if you don't get yourself out, they have the right to vote you out.
And that was another thing he was saying too. I volunteered to go on the block, and she can't even do one thing for me. Bro, again, you volunteered, so no.
Right. And it's not like they're brothers, sisters. This alliance started a week ago, basically. And it was because
Yeah.
he was HOH. Now she's HOH. And they do it her way.
Yeah.
And you acquiesced and said, okay, I'll go on the block as a pawn. This is what happens. Pawns go
Yeah.
home.
I mean, he won competitions, which is good, but he was not a good game player. Like, you cannot win Big Brother like that.
It was abysmal. It was as bad as it gets. But he just would win his way out of bad situations. He didn't use a veto on himself once and still won his way out of that situation. So he's bad at the game. I don't care what anyone says. So many people are like, oh, now that Tucker's gone, who's gonna bring the drama? Who's gonna bring the Angela is still in this house.
Also, let me just say, this is the most emotional cast I have ever seen.
Yeah.
They are all bawling their eyes out every
At the
single
drop of a
eviction or
Yeah.
the drop of a hat. Like, I think there's gonna be plenty of drama.
I think it's Angela. She's kind of broken the dam on that, and she's
I
just letting the
guess.
tears flow.
But I just can't. A lot of the time she's crying, it doesn't even seem real to me.
No, she never really cries.
Yeah.
She's such a fake crier. And
remember when there was that one scene with Brooklyn.
Yeah.
Where she was like, afterwards, she was like, I can't cry. I'm like, she was like trying to force herself to cry.
No, yeah. Like I said, she's a fake crier.
Yeah.
She's the victim complex. She is also not fun to watch.
No.
She begged to get into the Tanks Alliance. That wasn't really real once she got included into it. And then was mad. I don't know what. That's another thing. She actually ended up. This is okay. As much as she was so annoying.
Yeah.
And I was like, what are you doing? Her move, if we just take all of the bias of it being Angela and how it happened, was actually the correct move. I don't care what Tucker says.
Yeah.
From her perspective, even though he's saying, I'll be loyal to you, he's in a showman's and you can't beat him in a comp.
Yeah.
And if you should start the discussion that if he's on the block, he should go home.
Yeah.
She did it to the wrong people, but ultimately it was the right people because it got the thought in people's minds.
And the way she went about it was just ridiculous.
Now Tucker might have had her back more than anybody else, which is true. But maybe she could have built from the pieces of that, and she still has a chance to.
Yeah.
And then she's saying like, oh, like he's lying, and he didn't really lie to her, but it did get him out. Now maybe that goes down anyway, but it was never wrong to not. It was never wrong to discuss getting him out of there,
right?
And so. Ultimately, getting the best competitor out of there is always the right thing to do. It's how you win the game.
Right.
I'm just happy he's
And
gone.
Angela knows that. She knows the game, which is why she wanted to do that. She just, again, went about it the wrong way.
And she's just, what was another thing that happened to her where someone was like, I've got your back. You should believe me. And her instincts are way worse than Devon. Devon had a lot of like insight, and she would have reads, and you're like, yes. But then the choices she would make with that information, you'd be like, Devon,
yeah,
what are you doing?
Yeah.
Angela is almost the opposite in that she's low key doing the right things, but based on the worst information
and the way she's going about it.
Yeah, like what's his name was trying to. Tucker was like, yeah, everyone, no one trusts you.
Yeah.
And they're like, pinning this on you, and this is going to be a reason they rally to get you out.
Yeah.
And she was like, I don't believe you. And it's like, Angela, what?
Yeah.
And it's just like that performance would have been good for a B-rate movie. You know what I mean? And it's
wild.
Just like, she's so firm in her assertions, and they're just dead wrong.
Yeah.
I'm like past the point of it, and I'm way past the point of it being like, oh, she's so entertaining. She's not entertaining.
No.
It's just frustrating.
Yeah.
Now, hold on. Let me take a step back. Her crying over the charcuterie board.
I think she's entertaining.
That is funny.
I do think she's entertaining. I think she's annoying at times, but I do think it's entertaining.
And her doing I don't even know if it's entertaining, but it was something. the whole like crying as she was transporting the radioactive ping pong balls.
Yeah, we didn't
I
even
slot
talk
that in
about
to
that.
doing the most.
Yeah,
And
so she got a punishment in the veto, and she had to move one at a time little ping pong balls, radioactive ping pong balls into a trash can, just back and forth and back and forth, and also with having to take breaks to get slimed.
yeah,
And she, by the end of it, was just like, and listen, it it was an all night thing. She started at 10 p.m. and didn't finish until 7:30 a.m.
mm-hmm.
But by the end of it, she was just like, my whole body hurts. I've never done anything so hard in my life besides childbirth. And I laugh because I think I would probably be the
I know you
the
would.
exact same way.
You definitely would.
I mean, it was extremely dramatic and over the top, but I probably would be the exact same way.
Yeah, I think the thing with that specific challenge is the getting doused with cold water and the exhaustion.
Yeah.
And the constant movement.
Well,
so I'll give it to her. It's not, I can see that. But I'm saying if it was just that, if she was just kind of dramatic and hysterical in that way, I would be like, okay, yeah, she's a fun character to have. It reminds me of, and I don't even remember the moment with full clarity, but there's in Big Brother Canada, I remember in season 1, it was or maybe season 2, the tall gay guy, I think he was mixed, and that one time that was like in the last 3 episodes where he screams like, "Ah!"
yes,
you know what I'm talking about?
yes.
Something happened that made him do the most dramatic scream.
I don't remember either, but I know exactly what you're talking about. I can picture it.
Yeah, and he was like very upset, and
Yes.
we thought that was funny and hilarious and entertaining.
Yes.
Because he was doing the most, and that's very Angela-esque.
Yes.
But Angela takes it too far and victimizes herself at every opportunity.
That is true.
And that's what I don't like.
That
is the
is true.
victimization.
Well, I
One
thought
quick thing.
Yeah.
Big Brother Canada, it's hard to watch in the U.S. now.
Yeah.
And if you don't want to, if you plan to hunt down that season, Big Brother Canadian seasons, and don't want to be spoiled, then don't listen to what I'm about to say. Like fast forward a minute or so, right? But that season is crazy for those who just want to know, because that season, that guy that we're talking about is final 2.
Yeah.
And the vote comes down to, I don't know, I don't remember the exact number, but it was like 4-4.
Yeah.
And the vote that cast the winner, the girl didn't understand how they were voting.
Yep.
So it would be like, I want you to win, but I think we're still evicting people. So I vote for the other person.
Yeah.
So they declare the other lady the winner, and the girl's like, no. I wanted, I can't remember his name. I wanted him to win. And they're like, we very clearly said, we told you you're voting for. And she was bawling.
They went back and forth and back and forth.
She was like, no, we made it clear.
It's a tough watch.
And the guy just had the grace. She's like, it's okay.
Yeah.
And so, man, Big Brother Canada is really good.
Yeah, that's a toughie.
And it has drama if you want it, and good Big Brother.
Yeah.
So back to the
well, yeah, I thought it was very touching how supportive the house guests were. They were sitting out there with her while she was doing it and cheering her on.
That's what would get me in trouble in the house, because I would, those first initial moments, but I'd be like, guess who's going to bed? I'm not sleeping outside on the ground listening to Angela
I think Joseph
crying.
did, which checked out.
I would go to bed, and then y'all can wake me up at 7. And I'll cheer you on at the end.
Yeah.
And I get it, but it's a Big Brother punishment.
I know.
It's not supposed. You know what I mean?
I know.
The other punishment was that he had to do the AI assist thing where he just answered questions. I thought it was kind of crazy that he had to go look at the encyclopedia for himself. That was pretty cool. And then the other one is that Joseph had 24 hours of solitude, but not really solitude, because AI Matt was talking.
I loved that.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, the way that would drive me batty. I would literally go insane.
Yeah. So those were our punishments.
And there was something else I was gonna say about that.
So while you're thinking about that, just so we don't have dead
I'm
air.
sorry. I
Yeah.
know.
Um, the competition was okay. The what is it called? The slingshot. It reminded me a bit of the mole.
Yeah.
And just how hard the slingshot can
Listen,
be.
slingshots are notoriously tough on reality
and
TV
was that
shows.
Villains or Goat where they had the slingshot and they just thought he was faking
Yeah,
it?
yes,
We didn't
Goat.
talk about Goat once on the pod. I think
We
that's when we
didn't?
took our extended break.
Oh.
But that was a fun show. We enjoyed that. What do you think of Daniel Tosh on Goat?
It was funny at times, dumb at others.
You laughed so hard at him. That was a layup because I thought you were gonna be like, I thought he was so funny. You would be bawling at his jokes.
You know how I feel about comedians. Do you
Then
know
why don't you tell our audience?
I just don't. I
don't have a sense of humor.
No, my sense of humor is different than theirs.
Than every comedian. That means you don't have a sense of humor.
I don't think stand-up comedians are that funny.
That's crazy. Wow. People, just take note of what you're seeing.
Sorry.
And what Brooke's submitting.
Sorry.
I'll look this up in the DSM later.
Okay.
So now the lay of the land is we've got the feeds up on this episode. While we're recording this episode, if we find out who the next HOH is, from the feeds, we'll alert y'all. But
it doesn't look like they've even played it yet, huh?
Well, they're probably playing it right now. Is my point. So
it came on for a minute, but then it went back to this.
So what I was saying is, if they finish the HOH competition.
Oh, I remember what I was gonna say.
Okay, Brooke, take it away. Go ahead. Go ahead. So you go, Brooke.
The deep fakes, the AI instigator,
lame,
and then they voted. I didn't vote. We should have probably voted. They voted to give Tucker $20,000 for that.
Well, I saw a Twitter poll where it was like, how much do we want to give him? And I voted $0. and it was overwhelmingly 20,000. And once I saw that, I was like, oh, okay, well, he's getting it.
I mean, I will say the one he did about him and Rubina and Pentagon for Life was pretty good. But then what was the other one? He could have done so much more, I feel like.
The issue is he had already exposed so much on his last HOH. Much is already out in the open. And he, as much as he is an agent of chaos, I don't know if he's a messy gossiper. And that's who needed to win AI Instigator.
True.
Put Quinn in there, he would have had them saying foul stuff.
True.
Even Aaliyah, I think, but I don't know what she would have had to go on. I don't know about
Aaliyah.
But
Quinn would have been great in there. You're right. Yes. Angela even probably would have been pretty good
but
too.
Angela's would have been lame ultimately because it would have been stuff like Rubina is not girl power, good friend. Mackenzie is not girl bossing.
Well, and then Tucker tried to get everyone to believe that it was Angela, and she was
didn't
like,
want people to believe it was Angela.
Oh, he was just like
telling
her everyone thinks it's you.
Right.
And she's like, why would I do that? Everything that they've said has been lame and uninteresting or something.
Which I was like, good read.
Yeah.
See, that's why I was like, it was kind of a bust.
Yeah.
But what I will commend production on is they have spent the money to those are good deep fakes.
Oh yeah.
Now, how good they look in live, we won't know, but in production they look great.
What was the second one that we got?
What do you mean?
The first one was was Quinn talking about Rubina and Tucker. And then what was the other one we saw?
We saw tons. So I don't remember the order.
Seeing them all. I must have accidentally skipped that part.
I don't know. So we saw from Tucker, we saw one from Angela, we saw one from Rubina. We saw one from Quinn. We saw one
missed
from
all of that.
Chemo. There were tons. Everybody was in there. On the feeds, there was one from T-Core.
What?
So, someone drove by the window. So, that was just a bust. But what I was saying is that production did they spent the big bucks, and I'm sorry that these have been kind of flops. before the house guests knew this technology was possible, Quinn exposed that he was going to be the deep fake. That could have been a real shock.
Yeah.
They could have really had to figure that out.
Right.
The stuff from Tucker was lame. They knew it was one of the house guests, but it wasn't really anything of importance. The coolest thing that's happened is, now I don't know, they made it seem like it was continuous. If they had a continuous stream of Matt in the Matrix room talking for 24 hours, first of all, it takes, that's however long of audio that they had of Matt talking. Synthesizing that takes some time, and I'm sure CBS has the resources to do it. But just committing to that, I thought was really cool. But mostly, and that's more the speech synthesis of it. They're calling it AI. They really just, typed the script into there and had a computer read the voice.
Yeah.
That got really nerdy. I don't think anyone cared about what I was saying, but I thought they did really good with that, and I liked that they went all out for that. Man, what else? Anything? Did we miss anything, Big Brother? Okay, anything we missed, we'll catch in this segment. Who are our favorite and least favorites? You got your favorite, your least favorite, and who you think's gonna win.
Favorite is Chelsea.
Okay.
Least favorite right now is Joseph. I don't know.
Okay. Wow.
He just has a bad attitude, and he's boring.
He's super boring.
And he's like, he acts like he doesn't even want to be there.
Yeah.
And I just, yeah. And who I think is gonna win? I don't know. I feel like maybe T-Core.
Okay.
People might be coming after her after this HOH, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I think she's in a good place.
She's in an okay place, but I do think this HOH elevated her on people's radar, especially she took out Tucker. That's a big thing on her resume. So I would say my favorite is T-Core. My least favorite is, for the conceivable future, immediate future, whatever that saying is, Angela. I can't stand her. And who do I think is likely to win? I think T-Core and Chemo are going to go far, and I think Chemo is going to have less blood on his hands and be seen as a lesser of a threat, but he'll be able to take credit for his and T-Core's actions, and I can see him winning. So that's my predictions. Showman's Watch. I think we're gonna have to bring a moratorium on Showman's Watch because this is the end.
Yeah, it's done. I think, Tucker and Rubina, they let the whole house know this week that they were together, loud and proud. And then he left. So
he did cry for her. He seemed like it was real on the outside.
He did, yeah. Did they tell each other they loved each other?
I didn't see that.
Okay, I don't think I saw that either. But would I be surprised? No.
They're real they really have real feelings for each other.
Rubina's ready to move in New York for him.
Yeah, it's been clear for a long time that she's anyways. And then also Leah shut down Quinn. Well, she didn't shut him down, but in the dining room she's like, I have zero attraction for him.
Yeah.
Now the only thing that could possibly happen at this point, I think, realistically, is if Leah and Cam remain in the house for another month or so. Yeah. And just out of contact, a little flirtation happens. Yeah. Because there was a little bit of that at the beginning. Maybe that rekindles when there's nothing else going on. Yeah. And they realize, man, okay, But aside from that, slim pickings.
Yeah. Boring. Which,
some people hate showmances. Some people come to see a little showmance. We're showmans.
Yeah, we are.
Okay, so is that it for Big Brother this week? Okay, that's it for Big Brother this week.